Welcome to the RCFE Deal Room. I'm Dale Corpus. If you're buying, selling, or investing in residential care facilities for the elderly in California, this channel is designed to help you make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. So today I want to answer one of the biggest questions I hear from buyers. How much is an RCFE actually worth? Most people assume it's simple. They look at the asking price. Maybe they compare it with another RCFE. Maybe they compare it to Zillow, and then they think that seems reasonable, but here's the truth. I've seen two RCFE homes that look almost identical from the outside. Same neighborhood, same square footage, same number of beds, yet one could easily be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars more than the other. Why? Because you're not buying a house. You're buying an operating business. And that's a completely different conversation. Today, I'm going to explain how I think about RCFE value and why I believe many first-time RCFE buyers end up paying too much. Let's dive in. Number one, there is no magic formula. One of the biggest misconceptions is that there's one formula that tells you exactly how much an RCFE is worth. There isn't. If someone tells you this business is worth exactly X because of one number, I'd be careful. In my experience, valuation is much more comprehensive than that. I don't focus on one metric. I look at the entire picture because one great number doesn't make a great business. Number two, start with the real estate. Let's begin with what most people understand, the house itself. Questions I ask include, where is it located? What's the condition? How large is it? How many bedrooms? What's happening in the local real estate market? If the business disappeared tomorrow, what would the property itself be worth? That's one part of the equation, but only one part. Number three, then I evaluate the business. This is where many buyers get into trouble. Two identical homes can have completely different businesses operating inside them. Now, I'm asking questions like, how many residents are there? How stable has occupancy been? What does the cash flow look like? Have there been any citations with the California Department of Social Services? How long have residents stayed? Where do referrals come from? How experienced is the staff? What's their reputation? How healthy are the financials? And suddenly, we're evaluating something much bigger than real estate. Number four, every RCFE tells a story. This is something I think gets overlooked. Every facility has a story. Maybe occupancy has been full for years. Maybe referrals consistently come from local hospitals. Maybe caregivers have been there for 10 years. Or maybe occupancy has been declining. Maybe staffing has become difficult. Maybe the owner is burned out. These stories affect value. That's why I spend so much time asking questions before forming an opinion. Number five, buyers often overpay because they focus on the wrong things. Beautiful kitchen, great. Fresh landscaping, nice. New flooring, wonderful. But none of those guarantee you're buying a strong business. I'd rather purchase a well-run business in an average-looking home than a struggling business inside a beautiful house. Income pays the bills. Cash flow creates value. Number six, this is how I think about valuation. People often ask me, Dale, how do you evaluate an RCFE? The answer is I don't rely on one number. I look at multiple factors together. For example, I look at the real estate, occupancy, cash flow, staffing, licensing, referral sources, reputation, location, growth potential, and overall risk. No single factor determines value. It's how all of those pieces fit together that helps me form an opinion. Number seven, value isn't just about today. The last question I ask is, what could this business become? Can occupancy improve? Can operations become more efficient? Can revenue increase? Can expenses be reduced? And is there room to expand? Sometimes buyers pay for today's business. The best buyers also recognize tomorrow's opportunity. That's where experience becomes valuable. If there's one thing I hope you remember from today's episode, it's this. Don't assume an RCFE is worth the asking price simply because that's what's listed. Take time to understand both the real estate and the operating business. The more questions you ask before writing an offer, the more confident you'll feel making one of the biggest investments of your life. If you're thinking about buying or selling an RCFE here in California, I hope RCFE Deal Room becomes a trusted resource for you. In our next episode, we're going to tackle another question I hear all the time. Should you buy an existing RCFE or should you start one from scratch? If that sounds helpful, be sure to subscribe. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer in a future episode, leave it in the comments below. I read every one. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dale Corpus, and I'll see you next time here on RCFE Deal Room.